This short clip will give you a crash course about remote-controlled vehicles. RC vehicles mentioned here are cars and trucks, boats, planes, and helicopters. First off, all the types of vehicles mentioned here are available in both gas-powered and electric. Gas-powered vehicles require a bit more patience and can be overbearing for a newcomer. Engines can sometimes be finicky, and the vehicles themselves can get dirty and get fuel residue on them, requiring frequent maintenance. The great thing about gas-powered vehicles is you can run them as long as you want, as long as you've got fuel and haven't broken them. Battery-powered vehicles are better for beginners, and they can be just as fast and powerful. With the arrival of lithium polymer batteries and brushless motors, the performance can meet and sometimes exceed the power of gas-powered vehicles. Unfortunately, along with that comes a high price tag of those electronics. Some of the largest helicopter batteries exceed $500, and those batteries usually last less than a half hour and should only be used once a day. Electrics can be expensive, while the lower-end electric vehicles can end up being relatively cheap compared to gas-powered equivalents. Remote-controlled cars and trucks are the easiest to drive of all the remote-controlled vehicles. They have a relatively simple controller that's easy to get used to and will help provide a good foundation if you decide to get into any of the other kinds of vehicles. They come in trucks and cars in all different sizes in both on-road and off-road. There's also sanctioned races and competitions for remote-controlled vehicles, such as racing around the track and trying to get the fastest time, to truck pulling, where they attach weights to the back and try and drag it as far as they can before the truck stops. Remote-controlled planes are more difficult to drive. You have another axis to thinking about, and if you forget it, you might crash. This extra axis requires a different controller that is a little bit more complicated to use. There are planes that fly fast and also planes that run slow on both gas and electric, ranging from $100 to well into the thousands of dollars. They come in all shapes and sizes and have an intermediate learning curve. Remote-controlled helicopters use the same kind of remotes as planes and are definitely the most difficult to fly. Helicopters require constant hand-eye coordination to keep them from crashing. They range from cheap ones as seen on TV at around $30 and easily climb into the thousands of dollars. They're capable of flying in any direction, but it can take a long time just to learn how to hover. Helicopters are often looked at as the pinnacle of remote-controlled vehicles.